What if the world's biggest food company just got caught lying about what's inside the one product it built its image on? In summer 2025, investigators in France uncovered that Nestle had secretly filtered its so-called natural mineral water using banned treatments, and the government officials helped cover it up. The revelation stunned Europe, triggered lawsuits, and wiped millions off Nestle's stock in a week. But here's the part the headlines missed. That illegal filtration was only the beginning, because behind those green Perrier bottles lies a story of deception stretching from baby food to chocolate, and even the planet itself. Stay with me, because the closer you look at Nestle's empire, the dirtier it gets. You've seen the bottles everywhere. Perrier, Vittel, Contrex, the sparkling promise of untouched nature. They look timeless. Mountain silhouettes, crystal clarity, a drop of perfection trapped in glass. Then France found out the purity was staged. An investigation revealed that Nestle had quietly installed banned purification systems inside several bottling plants. Ultraviolet lights, activated carbon filters, even nanofiltration membranes, all hidden behind locked doors. The reason? To remove bacteria and mineral residues that would make the water fail EU purity tests. But under European law, once you treat mineral water, it's no longer natural. You must relabel it, disclose the process, and lose the premium tag. Nestle didn't. They kept the natural label, the premium price, and the lie, and shipped it worldwide. When the leak hit the press, police descended on factories in the Vosges and Gard regions. Officers hauled away computers and binders marked confidential filtration. Some workers described the raids like a scene from a movie, blue lights flashing through the glass corridors of a company built on transparency. Inside those files were memos showing that Nestle had known for years, and regulators had quietly allowed it. Officials feared a scandal might destroy exports and jobs, so they looked the other way. The watchdog protected the wolf. Nestle's public statement called the hidden filtration a precautionary safety step, a neat phrase for something that broke the very definition of purity. French media exploded. Headlines screamed, "Fake natural water." TV hosts poured bottles live on air. Consumers who'd paid extra for authenticity suddenly realized they'd been buying factory water. For a week, the scandal was everywhere. Then, silence. Ads returned, bottles returned, trust returned. At least on the surface. Because if the drink that built Nestle's reputation for purity isn't pure, what about the food parents feed their babies? Every parent wants the best for their child. Nestle knows that better than anyone. From formula tins to first step baby cereals, Nestle's early nutrition line is sold as safe, science-backed, trustworthy. They've spent decades earning parents' trust with soft pastel packaging, smiling babies, and slogans about the best start in life. But in 2024, a joint WHO and NBC investigation tore through that image like a storm. Lab tests across Africa, Asia, and Latin America found Nestle's infant cereals packed with added sugar, sometimes more per serving than Coca-Cola. Those were foods marketed for babies under 2, the very stage when taste preferences and long-term health are being shaped. Sugar at that age doesn't just sweeten food, it rewires appetite. When reporters asked Nestle why, their spokesperson said the products were formulated to meet local tastes. In other words, we add sugar because it sells. A line so cynical you could almost mistake it for satire. Global health experts called it a public health threat disguised as nutrition. Pediatricians warned it's helping drive childhood obesity and even early signs of metabolic disease in regions least able to handle it. And yet, the same brands that were quietly sweetening baby food in Nairobi were sold in Switzerland with no added sugar at all. In Kenya, one mother told reporters she'd been buying Nestle cereal for months, only realizing the sugar content when a neighbor translated the fine print. Her quote said it all. If they can lie on baby food, what else are they lying about? 2 standards, 2 markets, 1 company. It wasn't an accident, it was strategy. Target poorer countries where regulations are weaker, then market the difference as cultural adaptation. It's profit dressed up as empathy. Parents thought they were buying nourishment. In reality, they were buying the first step in a lifelong sugar addiction. And if Nestle is willing to compromise a baby's first meal, imagine what it's willing to overlook in a chocolate bar. In 2001, Nestle signed an international pledge to end child labor in its cocoa supply chain. By 2025, that promise was supposed to be fulfilled. Instead, what journalists found this year looked hauntingly familiar. A new Reuters review of West African cocoa farms revealed that, despite 2 decades of pledges, children are still working long hours with machetes, carrying sacks heavier than themselves for pennies a day. Some hadn't even heard of the certified sustainable programs printed on the chocolate bars they helped create. In Ghana and Ivory Coast, where Nestle sources much of its cocoa, NGOs described a cycle of dependency. Farmers sell beans to middlemen, who sell to exporters, who sell to Nestle. Each layer adds distance until the company can say, truthfully, but conveniently, we don't know which farms the beans came from. That's not transparency, that's camouflage. Nestle's 2025 sustainability report boasted about traceable sourcing, but internal audits told a quieter story. Barely half of their cocoa could actually be traced back to the farm. The rest disappeared into the fog of the supply chain. When asked about child labor, Nestle's spokesperson said, "Progress takes time. They've been saying that for 20 years." Meanwhile, the same report celebrated glossy PR campaigns, happy farmers, smiling children, together for better. A feel-good slogan plastered over a system still fueled by poverty. One charity worker in Côte d'Ivoire described a haunting scene, a 10-year-old boy hacking through cocoa pods in silence. When asked what he wanted to be when he grew up, he paused, then said, "I don't know what else there is." That silence speaks louder than any press release. And Nestle still puts "together for better" on the wrapper. And here's the darker irony. As global chocolate prices soared in 2025, many farmers earned even less. Higher profit margins at the top, deeper desperation at the bottom. Because for every ethically sourced wrapper, there's a child somewhere who doesn't get to eat the chocolate they picked. And if Nestle's sweetest product hides its darkest truth, what about the one you drink every single morning? Coffee, the comfort ritual that fuels half the planet. And for Nestle, it's gold. Nescafé and Nespresso together move billions of dollars every year. Their ads sell a feeling, rich aroma, ethical sourcing, smiling farmers in the morning light. But the reality, once again, smells different. Investigations into Nestle linked coffee farms in Latin America, including Mexico and Brazil, have documented workers picking coffee cherries for less than $6 a day, living in makeshift shacks with no running water, no contracts, and no safety equipment. Some were children, some were migrants, and all were invisible to the brand that called them partners. Local labor officers confirmed the violations, describing conditions that bordered on forced labor. The irony? The farms were part of Nestle's much-touted AAA Sustainable Quality program, the same badge used in its luxury capsule ads. That logo, printed in gold, was supposed to guarantee fair wages and ethical sourcing. In reality, it guaranteed plausible deniability. When confronted, Nestle said the program covered thousands of farms and that isolated issues don't reflect their global standards. But the investigation revealed a deeper truth. The structure itself rewards ignorance. Nestle buys through layers of middlemen who blend beans from ethical and unethical farms together. Once mixed, traceability vanishes. Bad beans in, good image out. And here's the bitterest twist. Those same beans go into your morning pods. The sleek, minimalist Nespresso capsule, a symbol of sophistication, hides a labor system that's anything but. So next time you see George Clooney whispering about responsible coffee, remember, behind that Hollywood glow is a farm worker earning less than your latte costs. If you're finding this eye-opening, take a second to hit the like button. It helps more people see what's really inside these corporate stories. And the final case is the one Nestle really doesn't want you thinking about, because it's not just about you, it's about the planet. If Nestle's water wasn't pure, its baby food wasn't honest, its chocolate wasn't ethical, and its coffee wasn't fair, maybe, at least, it could claim to be green. That's what the marketing says. Net zero by 2050. Every bottle recyclable. Committed to a waste-free future. But in summer 2025, leaked internal data told a different story. A Business Insider report exposed that Nestle had quietly scaled back or shelved more than half of its global plastic reduction targets. Executives cited market realities. The reality they meant was profit. At the same time, a Reuters analysis found Nestle responsible for nearly 1 million tons of plastic waste in 2024, among the highest of any food company on Earth. Most of it ended up in landfills or rivers across Asia and Africa, where Nestle's recycling partnerships exist mostly on paper. A former sustainability officer, speaking off the record, called the company's offset program a PR shield with math so creative it should win an art award. They counted everything from theoretical recycling capacity to forests that don't yet exist as progress. That's not sustainability, that's fan fiction. Meanwhile, entire coastal towns in the Philippines and Indonesia are buried under branded waste. Crushed Maggi packets, Nescafe sachets, and the same Pure Life bottles we met back in Case 1. Locals burn the trash to survive. The smoke carries Nestle's logo into the sky. When confronted, Nestle's 2025 sustainability update promised to accelerate circular solutions, a lovely phrase that means nothing, because circularity doesn't exist when the circle ends in fire. The irony is almost poetic. A company that built its empire selling purity now floods the planet with plastic. Its slogan says, "Good food, good life." But the question now is, for whom? Because if every claim of purity, ethics, and sustainability collapses under scrutiny, then maybe Nestle's biggest product isn't food at all. Maybe it's illusion. So what have we uncovered? A company that sold purity but filtered its truth, that sweetened baby food and called it culture, that promised ethics while children swung machetes for its chocolate, that put sustainability on coffee made by underpaid hands, and wrapped it all in green slogans that melt under scrutiny. For over a century, Nestle has mastered the art of looking clean while doing dirty. Every time they're caught, they don't change the system, they change the story. Every scandal fades, every promise resets, every ad rebuilds trust, just long enough for the next deception. Because Nestle doesn't sell purity anymore, it sells belief. If this story opened your eyes, share it with someone who still trusts the label, and subscribe, because next time, we're exposing another everyday product hiding its own dirty secret.